Hi, good afternoon. This is Gene from listening in KB9 001MWDX, SSB, SWL, etc., etc. And I just wanted to share something with you guys that I thought was just really cool, and to talk about like where you find radio sometimes, and sometimes you find radios in some pretty obscure places for a good price, by the way. And if you happen to be a person who's into medium wave DXing and listening to AM radio, sometimes antique stores, you might find some good stuff, and you might walk into the Salvation Army store like I did today, and I found really interesting radio, and it's an older radio. It's a Radio Shack 1251. I couldn't find much online about it. Apparently, this radio was manufactured in China, and I didn't see it in any of the online radio museums. I heard it mentioned, and I'll give you a look at it. So it has some interesting features to it. I have to back it up a little here so you can see it. And the radio has both AM, FM, and weather band, and it seems to receive pretty good on all the bands. And I was playing with it on AM, and of course it's in the middle of the day, so getting AM radio stations is kind of limited right now. So I'm going to give it a try tonight. But I did hook up an external antenna on this radio as well, because on the back of the radio it has hookups. So this radio is actually manufactured for, and I put a wire antenna on the back of it here on the AM side. So you could see how that works. And it does work better with the AM antenna. And also has a ground and an FM antenna. And it takes 6 9-volt batteries if you're not on regular power. And it does have an AC power cord for 120 volts to the back. And so this radio, you can kind of tell, was designed for people who are avid listeners of radio, and gave you external antennas. And by the way, it does work kind of good with that external antenna on it, better than it does just sitting on the desk. It also has a spot on it for an earphone jack, and also the earphone jack, ironically, ran a external speaker. I have an old, just making a mess here, excuse me. I have an old realistic external speaker, which was for a two-way radio like a CB, but I hooked that radio up to it, and it actually was able to drive this 4-inch speaker. And this has a really big speaker in it, by the way. I want to say it's bigger than a 4-inch speaker, so it's probably maybe it's pretty close to that type. Maybe this was Radio Shack's run-of-the-mill size speaker in here, but I'm not 100% sure. So it has direct tuning. It also has a knob down here, and it is digital tuning. Let me flip it on here so you can.
And again, I want to mention these are Protestant scholars, late 19th, 20th century, early 20th century scholars.
Yeah.
So,
and so if
it has
they're even willing to say
a really
that
rich
Moses had
sound
an
on it.
infallible gift of interpretation, well then, when you come to the New Testament and you see the chair of Moses is trained.
I think we should stick to President Carter's formulation of the One China policy,
I'm sorry.
the Taiwan Relation Act,
And that's
the
FM?
United States would provide assistance in the support of Taiwan if there was a violation by China.
Spotter information statement.
And there is the built-in weather, which is a really neat feature. And I looked for this radio online, and it went anywhere from about, $25 used up to about $50, which is really surprising. By the way, I found this at a real bargain. I got it for $9 at Radio Shack. So that, or I'm sorry, not a Radio Shack, at Salvation Army, which kind of gives you some idea. Is to if you go looking around radios in those obscure places, you might find a radio that would be useful to you for emergency purposes. Like I said, this takes 9-volt batteries. It is a kind of a big heavy monster, but it has a good sound to it, and it seems to have a really good receiver as well. And it has an extra weather band, which is really nice. But like I said, you never know where you're going to find a radio at a real bargain. Like I said, I got this at $9, and you can't beat that price for used radio for emergency purposes if you happen to need one. This one, if you also notice, a carry strap versus a handle, and this will extend out so you could put this over your shoulder, and you could carry it with you as well in like an emergency. So just something extra to think of. Okay, enough said on that. Won't take up any more of your time. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye bye.